Welcome back to episode 2. Wanted to give you a little bit of snippet into some of the scenes I get to see in my daily life here in Beijing. And then we're going to jump into today's topic, which is why China. Have fun. Hey guys, welcome to episode 2 of the Building an Entrepreneur, Expat Entrepreneur vlog. I'm really excited to keep sharing with you all. Thank you for everyone who watched and commented on the first video. I'm going to keep it as rough as it is with my computer overheating and all of that stuff in the background because I really love the idea of showing an authentic journey, unedited, vulnerable, all of that fun stuff. So today's topic is going to be why China. So those of you who don't know, I am currently in Beijing, China. I have lived here on and off for the last 10 years, but I've lived here pretty consecutively for the last 4 years. So my journey with China started when I was an undergrad. I did my undergrad at Ohio State. OHIO, go Bucks. I did my undergrad at the Ohio State University, and my major was international business with a minor in Chinese. I chose Chinese because this was around 2008 when the Olympics had just happened. China was like the talk of the business world, and so it made sense that if I was going to go to international business, I was probably going to do something with China. So it made sense to learn the language. Fast forward, I was in the Fisher College of Business, and we have an opportunity to study abroad. One of the things I always wanted to do when going to college was to study abroad. And so the opportunity to go to China to do study abroad came about, and I was super excited. I was told like 10 other people would be coming from the school, so I'd have other people I could get to know and bond with. And when I got accepted, they were like, yay, you're going to go, but you're the only one from Ohio State going. Ohio State is a school of like 100,000 people, if not more, and I was the only one going to China that semester. So I told my mom, and she's like, that's fine, I'll go with you. So actually my very first time coming to China, mainland China, I did go to Hong Kong in 2009 as a part of a short-term study abroad, just like a 2-week trip, and that was super fun, and I got to get to know a little bit about, but mainland and Hong Kong are pretty different in a lot of ways. So my first time in mainland was in 2010, August 2010, landed. My mom had already retired, and so she made it like a little trip for herself. Her, two of my aunts, and my pastor, they all made it as a girls' trip, and for 10 days, they were in China having their own fun. And then I was at Beida, or Peking University, doing an exchange at the business school. And so that was the first time I had been in mainland, and that was so much fun. My roommate was a wonderful Italian woman, and then we became good friends. And my other friend that I met doing study abroad was a Dutch Chinese. I became friends with a Dutch Australian, and then there's some other Americans. But I got to know people from all over the world, and we got to travel through China. We took a 27-hour train from north to south. We went and climbed the mountains that are the inspiration for Avatar. We biked around, walked around, laughed around, partied around, and it was just really fun, and I felt really alive. And so fast forward, I graduated from college in 2012. I do Teach for America, and then after Teach for America, I was always trying to figure out what did I want to do, and I wasn't really sure. I was at a pretty decent-sized crossroad, and I was trying to figure out what's next. And I had remembered my time in study abroad, and I remembered how much fun I had, and how much I grew, how many different new experiences, and experiencing life outside of America, but also outside of American culture was really fun. So I was like, okay, I want to go back to China. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I just knew that I wanted to recapture that feeling. And so but I didn't go the short route. The short route would have been to like apply for an easy job and just come back to China immediately. Instead, what I did was I went to grad school and got a master's in Asian studies from Georgetown. And so that way that I could go back and do work that was more interesting to me because I'd already done teaching and I love the mission of it, but the work of it is just not for me. I taught 8th grade. So I did grad school, and I was able to come back to China in 2015. So I did 5 years without coming back. Came in 2015, during my summer between my first and second year of grad school, on a part of a business trip, do an internship, which was super fun. Got to go to Shanghai, and do some business presentations there. And then I got a job in 2016 once I graduated that allowed me to move back to Beijing full time, and that was super fun. And since then, I've just been really enjoying it. I know a lot of people ask, are there black people in China? And yes, I'll talk about like the black community out here that I got to know, but that I've also helped in some ways to develop. But the one thing I really love about being out here is that it's a vibrant place, especially when I first came in 2010, but even still now. It's very vibrant. Things are fast changing, fast moving. Like I came before WeChat was a thing, and now seeing that WeChat is a thing. WeChat is like WhatsApp plus Facebook plus Instagram, all wrapped into one, plus PayPal. So you can send money, talk to friends, post photos, like things, you can shop, all in one. If WeChat went down, life here would pause real hard. I won't say it would stop, but it would definitely pause because like you don't even carry cash anymore. You can use WeChat to pay for the subway. Like restaurants take WeChat money. It's a whole thing. Maybe one day I'll do a vlog on WeChat, but um, yeah. So seeing the development, seeing how things change, but again, getting to meet people from all over the world. Like I decided to give you all something more than just a white wall. So the painting behind me, that's from my co-founder from Black Expo. He's an artist that I got to meet out here, and he's from Uganda. I don't know if I would have met him if I hadn't been here in China during this time. Another good friend of mine who I mentioned last time that I got to stay with, she's British and Guyanese. And met her. I used to have a roommate who was Kenyan. Another friend of mine, she's also from the States. And just meeting people from all walks of life and just having really fun experiences. The expat life here is different than the local life. I will say that and admit that. But there's just a lot of opportunities to experience new things, new people, new ways of life, and to really grow outside of what your home culture was. You can keep parts of your home culture, but then you get to really develop yourself as an individual. And that has been the biggest reason that I've been here. The second biggest reason is the ability to travel around Southeast Asia on the low. Going to Bali sounds like a really exotic thing when you're from the U.S. and the flights are like $1,500, $2,000. I went to Bali the Christmas before last, for like $150. So, I mean, it's a lot easier. And once you're in Bali, the prices are actually really low. So the flight pricing just makes everything go down. So I've been able to go to Bali, to Thailand, where I was in Bangkok and Chiang Mai. I actually got a friend of mine from the U.S. to come out to meet me. I've been back to Stockholm a few times. I've gone to, well, I had a layover in Paris. We can call it going to Paris. I've been all around Korea a few times, and probably more places that I'm not remembering, but a lot of it is because of living here. The cost of living is much lower. I was making a U.S. salary that in D.C. would have left me living at my parents' house. I was making about $40,000, and in D.C. that's like, it's not enough. But here, I was able to save money to travel, to save enough money to quit my job, and to do a whole lot of other things. So why China is really about the opportunities that existed here and the vibrancy of the place, and it's just been so much fun. Um, there's a lot of stuff that, especially being someone who studied China and studied China's politics, studied China's history, studied Chinese culture, written papers on it. There's a lot of other things that go into living in China that, sometimes you have to rectify with yourself. But on the day-to-day basis of like how my life is shaped personally, I've been able to have a lot of fun and just meet people who have opened up my mind, opened up my heart, opened up my life to just brand new possibilities. And I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have started the bakery. I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have started Black Expo if it had not been for living here. Um, and so I'll close with this because I said I was going to keep this shorter. I'll close with this. One of the things I love about China is that failure is not personal. So what I mean is, in the U.S., you could have a lot of shame if something doesn't work out. You start a business and you just can't make it, past year one. You fail, you have to close, and there's guilt, there's shame associated with it. Here, the pivot. It is all about the pivot. So failure has no shame here. It's all growth and it's all lessons. You could have a business that is doing brilliant, and then there's just a mandate that comes down, and poof, your business is gone. And it sucks, yes, but it has nothing to do with you. It has nothing to do with your value. It has nothing to do with your capability. It has nothing to do with your worth. So what do? You take the lessons you learned and you pivot. And then you do it better and bigger. And I've seen that over and over and over again from other people, and it's something I'm learning for myself, is that there is no shame in failure here. And I hope, and what I want to take when I leave here, is there is still no shame in failure. There is lessons and there are pivots. And that has just been one of my favorite lessons here. The second one that is also universal is that ideas can become things. And I'll talk about that one probably when I talk about Black Expo a little bit more, but ideas can become things. I think that and the lack of shame in failure, those are the two things that I've learned here that keep me here, and that keep me to constantly want to explore what new opportunities, what new failures, and what new successes I can find. So, thanks for listening, thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.